Rainfish Riviera, the 6th chapter of the 4th installment of the Skylanders series, Skylanders Trap Team. One of the quickest chapters in the whole game. For the last 9 years, speedrunners have battled it out who can beat the chapter the fastest. And what they did? They broke the chapter apart completely. This is the history of Rainfish Riviera IGT World Records. With an estimate of 19 minutes and 13 seconds, to complete the level you need to do a few things. Defeat Brawlers, grab a pile of wooden planks to get access to one of the 2 keys, play a game of Sky Stones against Bucko to grab the 2nd key. After you need to fight these enemies to lower the wall. So you're able to progress to the claw section, where you first need to clear the way so you can eventually put Max on the platform. So you can activate a bridge. And after blowing up the next wall, there is yet another claw section, after of which you need to fight Brawl and Chain. To finally, after some bridge building, you're able to catch the Rainfish and end the chapter. Looking at the stuff you need to do, it seems fair that the time goal is 19 minutes of in-game time. Now let me explain how the first speedrun took 3 minutes. What Skylanders Trap Team introduced, except for Trap Masters, was trapping and being able to play as the villain. With this new introduction, 2 tricks were discovered right away. The first one was double jumping. By switching to a villain, jumping, and switching to a swappable swap for a Skylander mid-air, the Skylander is able to jump again. Why does this work? It's that the developers forgot to put swap for Skylanders into a falling animation. So after swapping, the Skylander is in a grounded state, so they are able to jump again. The other trick is with a specific villain, Hootsuckle. Hootsuckle has 2 attacks, a big slash dealing 660 damage, and he has a little dash dealing 110 damage, nothing crazy. But when you combine his dash with the switch cancels the ending animation of Hootsuckle's dash, tripling the distance he gets. Now this is known as a Hootsuckle dash. With just these 2 tricks, the first runner of this game, Bangara, was able to beat it in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Because of double jumps, Bangara only had a handful of Skylanders he could choose from, and he opted to use Free Ranger, because of his Ride the Wind ability. Instead of going to Brawl Rush, Bangara ran straight to the left and double jumped off of this lamp, skipping the entire fight. But he still needed to grab the 2 keys. This is where the Hootsuckle dash comes in, to go straight to the other side. Then he double jumped on top of Bucko's head to grab the 2nd key, skipping having to play Sky Stones. But because Bangara skipped everything, the door on the bottom is locked. But the loading zone is still loaded, so when Hootsuckle dashed against the door, he shortly clips into it. Then he skipped the fight with a double jump, so he can get to the hardest part of the chapter. Claw skip. When Bangara arrives, the claw is not loaded, so the only thing he could do is Hootsuckle dash across, and just barely make it. And after skipping the 2nd claw and Brawl and Chain with a few double jumps, and catching a Rainfish, he got the first run. It's just unbelievable that it was done 9 years ago. There were some parts that took a few tries to get, but these threads were far ahead of its time. At this point, the timeline was a bit lost, because the only runner after Bangara deleted all of his runs, so we can't view those runs today. Until someone else started to pick up Trap Team. Roth Mercury, with a 2:06. beating the record by almost a minute. Mercury improved a few things. For instance, getting almost every jump first try. He also chose to use another Skylander who is way faster. Boomjet. Boomjet is a bit underwhelming in the game he was released on. Within Trap Team, his speed was changed, making him way faster Skylander than Free Ranger, saving a couple seconds on movement alone. He also double jumped over the gate, instead of lowering it by pressing the button. The last improvement was by catching the Rainfish earlier. Riviera puts the bait on the left side in the path of the Rainfish, but Mercury almost dropped it instantly, making the fish ignore the intended path, saving him 10 seconds. It would not be for 2 months till another strat would be found. A Hootsuko dash from this ledge, hitting a respawn trigger, spawning you past the key gate, saving a massive 15 seconds. And with this skip, and the new top Trap Team runner, Llama Hunter, this happened. Then Mercury became the first person to break under the sub 130, finishing his grind with the 129. But Llama Hunter wasn't done yet, getting a sub 130 of his own, and getting a 127, getting every trick first try, even adding a Hootsuko dash to skip building one of the bridges. And this run stayed for 2 years, when yet one of the most broken glitches in the game was found. By Visio Ninja, a Skylanders Pirates Adventure HD runner, and also finding countless of broken glitches across the whole Skylanders series. This is cutscene warping. After loading in the chapter, a cutscene of Max and Kelly plays, talking about Rainfish Riviera inflates his plane. What you might notice, your Skylander is also there, and Kelly just happens to fly really near the end. But how do you get there? By putting in a trap during the cutscene, a swap animation takes place on the exact spot. And once you skip the cutscene during the swap animation, a 1 second window, the villain teleports there instantly, and the claw to the Rainfish is still loaded. And with this trick, a speedrunner from Romania, Bandy, made use of this to beat it in 34 seconds. He did not know how to catch the Rainfish early, and he tried to grab the fish too fast, but he did end up with a new world record. Knowing the improvements, the record did not stay too long, because after a month, a Swiss runner, Arkeyaner, beat the record by 11 seconds with no footage available today. But we do know that this was legitimate, especially he improved the record another second half a year later. Instead of warping with Hootsuko, Arkeyaner warped with Bone Jumpy instead. Because once you warp, you're high in the air, and what happens to be, Bone Jumpy can bite in the air, getting more distant than Hootsuko, getting you closer to the claw section, and with that, he beat it in 22 seconds. It looked like this run could not go any faster. He warped to the end, flew as close as possible with Bone Jumpy, dashed to the claw with Boomjet, and catch the Rainfish as early as he could, and entered the fish's mouth the moment it loaded in. I eventually tied this run. This would be one of the many tied world records on the IL board. Was there any way to lower this by even another second? The answer is yes. Yes, there was. There are only 2 Skylanders faster than Boomjet. Roller Brawl, the Skylander I tried to beat the record with, but only was able to tie it. And Blast Zone? Yes, Blast Zone. How is he exactly faster, you might ask? Well, hyperspeed. A glitch was found by... I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. He found by playing around with blast zones bottom half, and he accidentally pressed jump and dash at the same time, and dashed right after. With that, the zone can reach insane speeds. He is even able to move during cutscenes. With this trick, I got a 21-second time. It would later be improved upon 4 days later by yet another second by MK Smile. The reason he was 1 second faster, because he waited on skipping the Rainfish cutscene, so he could move to the spot where the Rainfish would spawn, without it being included in the in-game timer, getting a 20-second time. But he still skipped the cutscene. There was still some time between skipping the cutscene and the fish being loaded in. So I returned the next day, letting the cutscene fully play out, and so entered the fish on the first frame. And with me getting a 19-second time, getting the first sub 20-second run. And this is where the record stands currently. I have no doubt in my mind that this record will be tied during the next couple weeks. And maybe, just maybe, the record might be broken again. What do you think? Is this a perfect world record and can't be improved? Or someone else will just play better and beat it? Or something will be found to get to the ending trigger out of bounds? At this moment we do know the location, but no way to get access to it. As of it now, this was the history of Rainfish Riviera. Thanks for watching. Did you like that video? Make sure to check out my full history on Skylanders Superchargers all story level speedruns. Right now, I'm also making a history of Skylanders Trap Team any percent world record. So stay tuned for that. See you next time.